Hi children, back to grammar class. Today we are going to deal with grammar chapter degrees of comparison. Before getting into the chapter, let us know what are adjectives. It's a word which describes noun. An adjective changes its form when it is used to compare one noun with another. It is called the degrees of comparison of an adjective. There are three degrees of comparison. They are the positive degree, the comparative degree, and the superlative degree. The positive degree is used to refer one object, person, or place without making any comparison. Example, no other city in India is as large as Delhi. Coming to comparative degree, it is used to compare two objects, people, or places. Example, Delhi is larger than any other city in India. The superlative degree refers to the greatest degree of adjectives. It is used to compare more than two objects, people, or places. Example, Delhi is the largest city in India. In order to form comparative and superlative degree of adjectives, remember the following rules. Rule 1. We add ER and EST to most one words that end in consonant sounds. Example, for positive, dull. Comparative, it is duller. And for superlative, it is dullest. Getting into the second example, old for positive, older for comparative, and oldest for superlative. Rule 2. When the positive word ends in E, we add only R and ST to the adjective. For example, large, larger, largest. Rule 3. When the positive ends in consonant Y, we drop the Y and add IER and IEST. For example, lucky for positive, luckier for comparative, and luckiest for superlative. You have another example also. Heavy for positive, heavier for comparative, and heaviest for superlative. In Rule 4, when the positive word is a word of one syllable word that ends in vowel sound plus consonant sound, we double the ending consonant and then add ER and EST to the word. For example, red, redder, reddest. Here, double D is added in comparative and superlative form before ER and EST. Rule number 5. When the positive word is long, that is, when the word is of two syllable or more than two syllable word, we add more and most before the adjective to form comparative and superlative degree. For example, under positive you have useful here. So when you change into comparative, it becomes more useful. And again, when you change this into superlative, it becomes most useful. Rule number 6. Children, you know there are some adjectives that do not form the comparative and superlative form from their positives. they have irregular degrees of comparison. For example, under positive, if you have good, in the comparative you will have better, and the superlative form of these words are best. Now coming to rule number 7. Like adjectives, many adverbs can also be compared. Adverbs ending in ly or lly are changed into comparative and superlative degrees by adding more and most. For example, under positive you have sincerely. When you change that into comparative, it becomes more sincerely. And for the superlative word, you have most sincerely. Hope all have noted down the rules carefully. I have splitted few words according to 3 forms. Note, in set 1, I have used one syllable word as base word. Under positive, set 1 base word, we have large, great, old and heavy. When you add er or ier, it becomes comparative form. Large becomes larger, great becomes greater, old becomes older, and heavy becomes heavier. And when you add est, it becomes superlative form. Larger becomes largest, greater becomes greatest, older becomes oldest, heavier becomes heaviest. Now, using a head and a tail playway method, we are going to learn how to frame the sentence in degrees of comparison. Note down the head and tail for each form under set 1. Note, following examples have only one noun. I repeat, following examples have only one noun. For positive form, you will have head as, tail also as. Look into the picture, you will get an idea where head is as here, adjective, large, and tail is as. Coming to the example sentence, no other city in India is as large as Delhi. When it is having single noun in the positive form, it always starts with no other. At some places, we also use very few. Now coming to comparative form, you will have head as is, tail as than. Looking into the picture, head is, adjective is larger, tail is than. When you convert that into a sentence, example sentence, Delhi is larger than any other city in India. Here, the word any other is used for comparative forms. Now coming to superlative forms, you will have head as the and tail as no words. Looking into the picture, head is the, adjective is largest, and for tail you have no words. Coming to example sentence, Delhi is the largest city in India. Now students, I have few more base words in set 1. I want all the students to apply this method and write down the sentence in all the 3 forms, that is positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. of your own. Let's try. Okay. Complete the given exercise in your English grammar notebook.